Shavua Tov, everybody. I hope you're well. Hope Shabbos was nice. I wanted to just still follow up. I know everybody in Klal Yisrael is still very much in the mindset, in the Avelus, and contemplating the tragic events of the past few weeks. And I wanted to speak a little bit more for the reflection on the situation. Should be as chus li'ilui nishmas Eyal, Gilad, and Naftali. Hashem yinakim damam. Hashem should avenge their blood. Meretz Hashem, the family should have a nechama on all of Klal Yisrael. I want to just talk about one point briefly, just a point of Emunah that obviously we're faced with in a situation like this. And I want to speak about it in the context of an article that was written a long time ago, around September 11th. It was soon after September 11th. It's in January 2002. There was an editorial piece that was published in the Jerusalem Report, like a magazine. I'm assuming it's still around. And the title of the piece was "How a Jew Faces Evil." It was an editorial piece talking about how it is that a Jew, with the proper hashkafa, with the proper perspective, faces rishus, faces evil, deals with terrible things that happen in the world. And again, in this context, he was referring to September 11th. So I want to just read you what he said, and then address how we're supposed to look at this. Another form of defense used by people bewildered that God would let evil exist is theological denial of the reality of evil. The theological denial of the reality of evil. These events, some say, only appear to be evil. In reality, they are caused directly by God in execution of His will for good in the world. Justice has been done in a form beyond our understanding. This particular form of providential belief, meaning hashgacha, this particular form of hashgacha, has been rejected by most Jewish philosophers. It was dismissed out of hand by Maimonides as contrary to both revelation and reason. Nevertheless, there are some Jewish thinkers and many individual Jews who derive comfort from this denial of random evil. Then he continues, it's time to face up to the persistence of evil in the world, it's time to listen to Maimonides on the limits of divine providence. Okay, etc., etc. So there is real evil in the world, and sometimes it strikes at good people. Okay, this is an Orthodox person who wrote this, an Orthodox rabbi, who wrote this, who again was essentially saying that those of us who take comfort, who took comfort from the September 11th attacks and took comfort in the fact that we believe that Hashem is running the world and that Hashem knows what He's doing and that it's for the best. And while it looks like bad, it can't really be bad because we know what Hashem is doing. So those of us who take comfort in thoughts like this are basically naive fools. Some Jewish thinkers and many individual Jews who derive comfort from this denial of random evil. So at the time that this was written in 2002, so I was very upset by it. I was very upset by it because first of all, it's completely wrong. Not only is it wrong hashkafically, but I believe it's indefensible to try to attribute this type of an approach to the Rambam. Maybe it is that other people hold this way. Maybe there are some Jewish philosophers, somewhere who say such things, that Hashem is not fully in control, and that I just don't know. But it's certainly not in the Rambam. And anybody who's interested, you can email me. I'll send you a copy. I wrote like a whole a small article about this at the time, a couple of pages. Basically just going through different sources in the Rambam, showing that it's really not tenable, to try to say such a thing in the Rambam himself. But I don't want to focus on that. Going through the Rambam. I want to read you for a minute just some words from the Das Tfunos from the Ramchal. Again, the Ramchal, Rav Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, and the Sefer Das Tfunos is where he really lays out and explains in an expansive framework for understanding Olam Hazeh, understanding why Hashem made the world, why Hashem made us, why things happen the way they happen. As you know, I've quoted the Sefer here many times and posted some learning and shiurim from it. So I want to just read you a small piece from the Sefer Das Tfunos. This is from Siman Kuf Chav Dalid. The Sefer is written as a conversation between the Seichel and the Neshama. It's like a dialogue. So each statement from either side gets its own little number. So this is 124. Kuf Chav Dalid. He writes like this, Ramchal. He speaks about, I don't want to get into the point of what he's addressing over here, but just to give you the context, he's addressing the following idea. We've discussed before in the past in these shurim and other places the idea that there's two things going on at the same time. On the one hand, there's the Hanhagas HaMishpat, there's the Hanhaga of Schar Va'onesh, there's the way of the world of cause and effect, where things are happening now, and it seems that bad things happen, and it seems that all sorts of tzarot happen, and all But at the same time, we know there's something called Hanhagas HaYichud. There's a Hanhaga, there's a way of Hashem running the world that's a complete and total oneness, and that really is only going to be revealed at the end. That's when Mashiach comes, or La'asid Lavo. At the end of the days, that's when it's going to be revealed, this oneness. And then we're going to go back and see that really all along everything was really for the best. Right? This is the way the Ramchal explains it. Like I said, we've discussed this here many times. But he says, that this interim time period, the time period that we're in now, right, where we are in the place of cause and effect, where we don't see that things are for the best, right? Like we've quoted here before also, the Chazal say, right, nowadays we make two different brachos. When there's a tzara, when there's a tragedy, we make the bracha of Dayana Emes. Yeah, and when there's a good thing, when there's a simcha, we make a bracha of Atova Meitiv or Shechianu, right? We experience bad right now. We experience things as evil over here. But the Gemara says again that La'asid Lavo B'Yomahu Yeh Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. Then we're going to realize it's all good and there's only going to be Atova Meitiv. Okay, but what function does the bad serve now? What function does it serve? So I just want to read you what the Ramchal writes here. Such powerful words. Any person, like I sent that in the email. Any person who believes in tefillah should be confronted with a difficulty in a situation like this. Any person who believes, how could it be? How could it be? All of Klal Yisrael gets together and davens and achtos, and everybody is starting Shabbos early, and so many different things that were going on. And how could it be? And I want to read you what the Ramchal says here. I'm just really going to leave you with this. Ikar hanisayon hanoled mehester ha'adon espanov hu. The main nisayon, the central nisayon, the main test that comes out of the fact that Hashem hides His face from us, from the fact that it's not clear to us now, is the following. Ki alo Hashem amar yedei neviyav. Didn't Hashem tell us through His neviim, through His prophets? Ki hu mashgiach al kol nivrav. He pays attention to everybody. He's watching over everyone. Ve'einav al kol darach ish, and He's watching over every man. Laseis leish kidrachav u'chofrima alalav. And He's paying attention to what we do to pay us back what we deserve. El Emunah ve'en avel. He's a God of truth without any waywardness, without any twisted judgment. Everything is perfect with Hashem. He tells us a person does mitzvos, a person listens to Hashem, good things are supposed to happen to him. We have 3 yeshiva bachrim, young men, spending their days in yeshiva learning Torah. How could such a thing happen? And after he tells us all of these types of things, and then he goes ahead and he runs his world in such a way that's impossible to understand. That seems to show the exact opposite of all this. Sometimes it looks like everything is just happenstance, it's all random. Hakol asher lakol, everybody gets whatever everyone else is getting. Nobody gets special treatment. You don't see tzaddikim get saved all the time and bad people get punished all the time. We don't see that. Upam ki nivnu lo si rishon. Sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes it seems that the people who do bad prosper. V'lo matzu kol anshe chayil of the Hashem schar tircham v'amalam, and all the people who, the anshe chayil, the warriors for Hashem that are working and toiling and exerting themselves so much, and we don't see any schar. We don't see them getting their reward. And how many people cry out in tefillah and are not heard? And all other aspects, all other elements that look completely contrary. Again, the Torah tells us these things. The Torah tells us all these things. A person who trusts in Hashem and a person who does mitzvos, good things will happen. And a person who doesn't, chas v'shalom, other things will happen. And we don't see it. It's a test for us. David HaMelech, Olav Shalom is an unbelievable thing. A pasuk Tehillim Perek Ayin Gimel, Psukim Beis and Gimel. David HaMelech says, "Va'ani kimat natoyu ragloi." I almost faltered. I almost went off the derech. That's what David HaMelech is saying. I almost faltered ki nesi b'holilim, because I saw people holilim. I saw people that had no ruchnias, no spirituality, rishayim, doing whatever they wanted, and I saw that they were prospering, and I was jealous. says David HaMelech. David HaMelech. I was jealous. I was jealous when I saw people living a life of hefkerus, doing whatever they wanted, and everything goes fine for them. And here I am. I'm toiling and I'm working, and I'm full of sorrows, and I've got sons that are up against me, and I'm running around, and I'm being chased, and all of these things. And look at these people. These are shayim. They live such a happy life. This is the test. To see, are we going to stand with their emunah? And it's not going to budge from our heart. This peg. For sure, there's no question that Hashem is just, and there's no injustice by Hashem. Even though we don't understand His ways. This is what the Ramchal tells us. We don't know why Hashem chooses to test us in different ways. Everybody with their nisyonos, sometimes all of Klal Yisrael facing an assignment like this. We don't know, but to say the words over here, again, I don't even, repeat this, these events, some say, only appear to be evil. In reality, they're caused directly by God in execution of His will for good in the world. Justice has been done in a form beyond our understanding. Yes, Rabbi, so-and-so. That is exactly what's happening over here. And again, I don't know who says what. Certainly, this is not what the Rambam says. Clear, it's not what the Ramchal says. And look, Hashem, we should take a chizuk from this. Again, all of Klal Yisrael coming together, all of Klal Yisrael being the spalel, and we have to keep that momentum going for ourselves. Keep our emunah going. Not let this affect us in a negative way, chas v'shalom, but to try to grow from this and to try to stand up to this and show Hashem. Are we going to stand up with our emunah and say, of course Hashem knows what He's doing, of course there's a way to understand this that's just beyond our recognition. And we daven and do whatever we can to try to bring Mashiach to Tzidkenu b'mher v'yameinu Mir Hashem. And we'll see where the three boys are now. We'll see why things had to be this way, and we'll see the good in it. Mir Hashem. In the meantime, we make the bracha of Dayan HaEmes. In the meantime, we cry together with these families. But that's on the outside. On the inside, we know that Hashem is running the world. We know that there's a cheshbon. We know that Hashem knows what He's doing, and we trust in Him. Mir Hashem. Okay. Have a good week, everybody.